Veni, vidi, vici. Die Lampert's army came, saw and conquered Rotterdam, an all-round British dominance, an anniversary, a birthday and hot temperatures. The Longines League of Nations states in the Netherlands gave us a lot of topics to discuss, but before we go there, first, your quick strides. Roger-Yves Bost has lost one of his great partners. Cassius Clay, VDVZ, has died at the age of 16 after what the rider calls an incurable illness. The Grey Stallion was a son of Calvino Z and was bred by Georges van der Velde. He came from a celebrated family and his granddam was a mare deeply respected in America who jumped World Cups with the Fletcher family. Cassius Clay carried Roger-Yves Bost to a Nations Cup win in Rome and to a second place in the Paris 5-star Grand Prix. The race to lead the world equestrian sport has begun, and for the first time in 12 years it will actually be contested. 3 candidates are standing to become the next FEI president. Mark Samuel of Canada, long-serving honorary vice president Jack Huang of Chinese Taipei, and Sabrina Ibanez of El Salvador, who is the FEI's own Secretary General. The winner replaces Ingmar de Vos, who steps down after more than a decade at the helm. The vote falls on December 5th at the General Assembly in China. People who breed our sport horses want more recognition, and it seems the FEI is listening. At its council meeting in Lausanne last week, the FEI and the Breeding Federation discussed a proposal to better support sport horse breeders. Both sides agree on one thing: breeders carry the risk at the very start of the horse's road to the top. For now, it stays a discussion. No mechanisms, no money, no decisions, but the door is open. We gave this conversation already a full episode with Dirk Willem Rosie, and it is still free to watch in our archive and well worth your time. Max Kühner is back on top. The Austrian has won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Paris under the Eiffel Tower with EIC up to Jacko Blue. 6 riders went clear in the first round, and in the jump-off, Kühner put up a fast time, so we're midway the jump-off. Last man to go, Dennis Lynch, took second on Cordial, and Olivier Perrault was third for France to a roar of the home crowd. The win books Kühner's ticket to the Super Grand Prix in Riyadh, and it lifts him to second place in the overall standings, just 5 points behind Abdel Said. And Austria's Katharina Romberg is on a roll. The Austrian has European bronze, she has a 5-star Grand Prix win under her belt, but she never won her own national title. Until now. At Ebereichsdorf, the best 7 Austrian riders came back for the final. Romberg lost to go, with a 9-year-old mare Cassina had 1 rail in hand. Despite a rail down, the gold was hers, and Jörg Domingo took silver. Young Antonia Weichselbraun took bronze, and she goes to the Europeans, the U21 Europeans, in very good form. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an air-conditioned horse show, very much needed after a very warm weekend and temperatures are still rising. However, I have found a man who doesn't need air conditioning. He knows how to keep his head cool whenever and all of the time. Welcome to the horse show, Joe Lee.
Good.
Good, no?
Yeah, that was good.
How did you keep your head cool? Were you able to keep your head and body cool over the weekend?
No, that's a very strange question, but no, I wasn't. I was very hot. I was riding a lot of horses. I was in Pilbergen riding.
Did you ever hear of the name Jörg Domingo?
No.
So,
it sounds like a dance.
Yeah, a runner-up in the Austrian Championship. Okay. 72 years old, almost 72.
Wow.
Makes him a year older than John Whittaker.
Okay.
And actually he was competing in the 4 stars in Hamburg as well.
Okay, I didn't see him there.
No, but
name?
Just Jörg Domingo.
Jörg Domingo, okay, good.
A question. Where were you on Friday, May 15th, 2015?
No idea. No,
you were in Rotterdam.
Okay, good. And what was I doing?
You won the Nations Cup there.
Fantastic, good memories.
You didn't even remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that show. I love that show. It was it's a great show to compete at. You got the woods there behind, and it's a nice show to be at.
You still remember who was on the team with you in that Nations Cup 2015?
I won it twice, I think. So
did you?
Yeah, I think I was on the winning team twice. I think so. Anyway, Jessica Mendoza,
Spirit.
Michael Whittaker,
Cassionato?
Spencer.
No.
Scott, Ben.
Yeah, Ben with D.
Ben. Okay, yeah. Cool. Good memories.
How tough was it to qualify for the second round in 2015, and how tough was it in 2026?
I honestly can't remember how tough it was. It seemed pretty easy at the time. I had a good horse, so it was pretty easy. But yeah, it was really difficult to qualify. It was really close to qualify. I think the Germans and the Brazilians were both on 12 points, so it really came down to the time. It came down to the last rider. The Brazilians were finished with their 4 riders. Vogel had to come in the ring, deliver the clear round, which he did, but unfortunately didn't make the time.
Yeah,
I think he was a second and a half under. But for me also, he didn't look like he was aware of the time. I didn't know if he knew before he went in if the time was an issue, but he rode a good round, solid round, but second and a half out.
It did cost the Germans a spot in the second round. The Brazilians went through. There's another couple or another group that didn't make it through. We mentioned the French had their very strong team back in La Baule, where they won their Nations Cup. Came here maybe with a slightly lighter team. However, for Kevin Stout, with the eye on the championships, this was maybe the last call to prove him to get qualified. Okay, there is still, of course, Falsterbo in 2 weeks' time. Do you think he made it, Kevin Stout, with Phil in de Hus?
No, I think he's exposed not the horse, but he's exposed the inexperience. You know, I think it is a championship horse, but you see here it unravelled quickly. We saw such a strong team last week. And I think that's the team they're going to go with. Obviously, he's still got Falsterbo, but like I say, the team was so good and so strong last week, experienced, good horses. I don't see him getting on the team this time.
No, so that made that France and Germany didn't go through to the second round of the Nations Cup out in Rotterdam in the Kralingse Bos. After the first round, Team GB and Team USA sat in 6th and in 7th position on 8 penalties off the lead. In round 2, they came out revived, and Di Lampert's team with Ben Meyer, Sienna Charles here, and brother Harry Charles rode 3 clears to keep the team on 8 penalties. And so did Robert Ridland's squad with Carl Cook, with Katie Dynan, and with Marilyn Little. They all jumped clear rounds as well and held the lead with still 5 teams to go. So Team GB and Team USA in the lead. Then the Italians dropped the roll with 4 penalties, and so did the Belgians. In came the Swiss. They led together with the Dutch on all clear after round 1, but their first 2 riders failed to produce the goods. Luckily, Martin Fuchs was able to jump a clear and keep the team also on 8 with now a 3 country jump off. Harry Smulders for the home nation, if clear, would also take the Dutch team into the jump off, but as you saw with the rail, dropped out of the group for the jump off, and the Netherlands finished on 12 penalties. In total, a 3-way jump off, a 3-country jump off, is something that I haven't seen a lot in Nations Cups.
I think we're going to see it more with this format. I really like the format of the 3 riders coming back. It makes it more exciting, and I think we will get this more because of that format.
Yeah, really, really cool. Let's bring up the head-to-head first with the 3 riders. There is Harry Charles on the left, there is Marilyn Little in the middle, and Jason Smith on the right. Smith kind of straight away lost a little bit connection with the fastest.
Yeah, I mean, Harry was first to go, went in and put his stamp on it straight away. He rode a perfect round, in my opinion, with a horse that he doesn't know that well. It took a lot of risks. I think Marilyn actually had the fastest horse, rode the fastest round. But you see there, just in the last line, she took a little bit of a check. And Jason was last to go. I thought he was going to do a little bit more. Last to go, you can see where the other horses have been in the sand. So you know
where you should be.
Yeah, and you do see it, I think, as a rider. And he just stayed outside of the others' footprints, rode a little bit a slower round. Conservative.
Thinking of Aachen?
Of course. Thinking of Aachen, thinking of the Grand Prix. But if they send you in a Nations, if they send you in to win it, then you have to
try to win it.
Go for it. I mean, you never know the conversation the chef to keep has. Go in, do whatever. But yeah, normally
the decision to win the Nations Cup, where the decision was made, it is fascinating. We stared at our screens again and again, and we slowed everything down. Here is that clip. Pay attention. We slowed it down. This is the rollback, like you said, Joe.
So, I mean, Marilyn's really, she turns much tighter, much more on the inside of Harry's steps. You can see it really clearly there. Lands quicker. You see she's already landed, moves up, Harry gets a nice inside line, but Harry just trusts it all the way up, does 9 strides, and she does 10. Just takes...
Here in the landing, she's still in front.
Yeah.
And here at the finish, he is. How is that possible?
For me, his horse, because of the smoother approach, he did 9. He had a much smoother approach, so he had a much more forward jump. I think that made the landing further away from the jump. She had more of an up and down jump because she did the 10. And when his horse landed, it just put its head down a little bit racehorse style and just moved through the finish. Yeah, much smoother, I think that 10.1, the safety check to get the 10, slowed her down. And then obviously got there deeper, up and down jump, Harry's smooth.
Basically, that's pure pace, pure speed, kilometers or miles per hour in that final line over that fence. And in the first 2-3 strides, the pace that Harry was carrying throughout that entire line, he could also carry after the last jump and through the...
Smoother.
Yeah.
Just everything was smoother. Harry just smoothly up on the 9, landed and carried the momentum through.
The Americans came out with a statement when they traveled to Europe about their selection process. They were going to select based on La Baule, Rome, Aachen, and also here in Rotterdam. What have they learned from their team, from their riders, and about selecting for the championship?
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about this. I find it a little bit strange to pick the team now after Rotterdam. Rotterdam is completely different jumping than we're going to see in Aachen. Point 1, the surface is sand. And point 2, the arena is much smaller, so it's a little bit different type of jumping. Aachen, big, bold jumping. They've learned, I think Marilyn Little's horse is incredible. It's so careful. I think she will see herself on the team. She's already jumped on grass as well, I think,
Rome, yeah,
quite successfully. I think Carl Cook's horse jumped a great first round. I wasn't convinced with the second round, and then in the Grand Prix had a couple down. So I think, I don't know, again, would be nice to see him on grass in Falsterbo, but if they're going to pick the team, at the minute, I wouldn't say he's going to make the team.
One could think they only have a small batch of riders here.
Yeah.
So they can't select over 6-7 shows, If you have a lot of riders here, you can send a lot of strong teams everywhere to really see who comes out well. Maybe that's also a reason.
I don't think they were at all interested in winning Nations Cups in this season. I think they've put all their focus on the championship, and I don't think we've seen the championship team out. We spoke about that last week as well. I mean, it's such a look. You've got Kent, Laura. Now Marilyn Little, I think, comes into the game. McLean. So I think that's going to be pretty much the team. But you've also got some. I mean, Natalie Dean's put in some great performances, and obviously Katie. And you've got a strong team, and they've not put that team together now to win a Nations Cup. I think they've been saving it for the championship.
Yeah. Lots of double clears, not lots, 4 double clears. 2 from the Americans, Cook and Little. 1 from the Swiss, Lord, again, Lord with Martin Fuchs.
Yeah.
And the triple clear from Freda with, I still have to get used to Freda and Harry Charles. how quick that is all coming together. And apart from horse and rider talent, can you not pick Harry Charles now for the British team?
Well, I think Harry's one of those riders, he's so cool in the head and he can deliver the goods when it counts. We've seen that in championships. And now he's got a world star. It was, for me, one of the best horses in the class, and they've gelled so quickly together. Normally, with normal riders, you'd be a little bit nervous about sending someone to a championship with that little experience together. Yeah. But it just works. And
I think you made the right point, that little experience together, because the horse has jumped already World Cup finals, has really been exposed, jumped 's-Hertogenbosch, so did a few shows already, has been in championship conditions, and now, of course, like you say, with Harry, sorry.
I think this could, the way it jumped now, I think this could be probably the best horse he's ever had. You know, that was the look this week.
Instead of guessing, what if we would ask him?
Even better.
Welcome to the Horse Show, Harry Charles.
All right, nice to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
How are you? I forgot you were coming on there for a second.
Harry, without beating around the bush, are Harry Charles and Freda going to go to the championships?
You know, it's still a dream at this point, I think. Obviously, it's crept into my mind a little bit when I started riding her. Half the reason we kind of did the Nations Cup this early in Rotterdam was with that, and time is not quite on our side, but yeah, it went, I think, better than nearly anyone thought it would have gone. So I'm over the moon with her, and just trying not to get too carried away. You know, we're still very young in our partnership, and you know, as great a show Rotterdam is, it's not Aachen. I've been to Aachen a lot, and it's what's required there is a level up again. But yeah. Freda, I thought Freda, how she did the Nations Cup, there was a lot left in the tank. You know, it wasn't difficult for us. So yeah, that's how it felt too. So I'm glad it looked that way.
We've got this reaction from you. We'll play out the reaction. This is round 2. You cross the finish line. You jump these fences. And all of a sudden, you're fully focused, and all of a sudden you come out of your bubble, and it seems that you're saying, "Wow." Tell us about that moment. What were you feeling? What were you thinking? Where did that come from?
I didn't actually realize that until I watched it back. But I said that it was kind of, I guess, in the moment. Just the whole way around, I couldn't quite believe the feeling I was getting. It was obviously my first 160 class with her too. So, you know, when I've jumped her in a couple 145, she feels great. But when it gets that big, it's like she has another gear to her, and the feeling is in no horse. I mean, I've been so lucky to ride so many incredible horses, but the feeling I got on Friday was something very special. So I was just a bit like blown away by it.
Hey, that's what Joe said. That's what you said as well.
Yeah, it looks like the most convincing horse you've ever had. You know, it's clever, paying attention to the poles, and looks easy to ride.
Yeah, she's very, I mean, as early as it is to go this big, pretty easy. She doesn't spook or have any, you know, doesn't doubt you, which she's so intelligent, which I think's her best attribute. Just to walk into that environment, nothing really faze her. A bit of music, a bit of atmosphere, and just like be dead straight was pretty impressive. I mean, I always said Baloo was kind of the best horse I think I've ever ridden. I had him very late in his career. And I mean, Romeo did for me was no other horse has done that. So, I mean, it's very early, I think, to put, you know, that on her. Without putting too much pressure on myself either. I know how good she is, and I just want to do a good job with her. So I think patience, not getting carried away. It's only one show, one round. We'll now, the next few weeks, just maybe take it a bit easy and keep learning each other.
And what I was actually really impressed with, because we saw her on the championship with another rider, and I didn't think she was that quick. But now she looks actually really quick, naturally quick.
Yeah, both over the ground and at the fence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was also had the same impression. with Julie, I watched a lot of her, obviously, and then time faults would creep in a little bit. I don't know, maybe in New Zealand, when I watched a few videos, the time allowed were a bit more lenient. So was it just a factor of coming over here and the time is a little bit tighter? But no, she feels quick. I mean, I was a bit annoyed I had to do the jump off because no one warned me, and I didn't walk, of course, because I thought, okay, if we're getting jump offs are rare anyway, and they're never going to send me on a new horse. So I was kind of trying to ask anyone for a number. I just didn't want to finish last in the jump off. That was my feeling. First of all, I thought I was definitely going to be against Carl on Caracol, and I thought I'd be against Martin.
Oof.
Not taking anything away from the other two. They did a great job, but I was a bit like, oh, this could be a smoke show on a horse I don't know. So I think I went in there thinking, whatever. First of all, I'm going to take care of her. She's jumped 2 amazing rounds. Yeah. I don't know her. Not take any unnecessary risks. Just try and keep it as smooth as I can and see how she feels on the turns. And yeah, she reacts really quick to any signal you give her. So as soon as I open my hand, she is. The first few times actually at home, caught me off guard how quick she can whip back, and when you open her up, the stride gets quite big too. So it's pretty cool.
Also credit to Julie Davey. You had a question about the mask, no?
Yeah, so actually, because she looked so cool in the ring, and then we saw a clip of you warming up, and she has a mask on with blinkers. Is she scared of other horses, or just a bit sharp in the warm up?
She can be a little bit sharp in the warm-up. It's more the advice we got from Julie and her team, that she went with blinkers in the warm-up. Obviously, we have not had her so long, so I try to keep everything same for her. I don't want to, it's enough of a culture shock, I think, her from New Zealand to England. So we just try and keep everything the same to not make it all too big a change at once. Yeah. I mean, it works great, so I've no reason to change it anytime soon. So we just try and keep as many things the same. Julie did an incredible job with her. I mean, she rides great, the horse, and she's been very well loved the whole life. So she's done a great job, and I don't need to change too much, honestly, from what they've done.
And the good thing is, I think in New Zealand, most of the shows out there would be on grass. Mm-hmm. So she would be
she has that. She'd have experience on grass, so and that's my next plan for, I think, the next few shows we do, try and target some of the grass shows.
Falsterbo?
In discussion, I think I'm trying to get into Riesenbeck for the global. I'm not on a team, so it goes down to the ranking, and the way that system works is a bit complicated, so I find out on Tuesday if I can ride there. That would be ideal, I think, as a venue. But the next one, I'll take it to Valkenswaard and actually put her in the 2-star and a few smaller classes and just figure out some things still. I feel like I can get it a little bit smoother. And yeah, just try and get a few rounds into it and get to know her.
If it gets any smoother, man, Cookie, you look pretty smooth to me.
Harry, thank you very much for taking the time and having a chat with us. It is fascinating. We spotted the horse already in Sertogenbos with Julie, and we discussed the horse a lot. It's fantastic to see her with you. It's fantastic to see how a horse at a respectable age can still develop and change and move. And it's fantastic to see you two come together. We will keep a close watch. And I just want to thank you for taking the time and coming on. And good luck for the rest of the weeks.
No, thanks for having me, guys. I love the show. It's watch it every week. So
super. So you're the one guy who watches every week.
Yeah, that's the one guy.
That's good to know.
I'll keep you in business.
keep
us alive. Thanks, Harry. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Well
Thank
done.
you very much.
Bye.
So that is I thought it was my mom who was that one viewer that watched.
I thought it was my mum as well.
Harry Charles, who watched.
So one of our mums is not watching. We're going to have to make a phone call on the way home. Yeah.
Both of our mums are not watching. Interesting. Did you ever ride or get into a Nations Cup with a jump off as an outcome?
Yeah, there's been a few Nations Cups with jump offs. I was never sent in. The one time I was getting ready for a jump off, I can't remember. Someone was inconsiderate and jumped a clear round, so we didn't need to jump the jump off. So we finished second. But yeah, no, does happen. It's very rare, and like I said, with the new format, and I think it's great. I love it. I think it's more exciting like that. You know, it really comes down to the wire.
But the World Cup football is on, and sometimes it gets down to penalties once in the knockout phases, and then the coach has a list. Number 1 priority to take penalties if he's still on the pitch. Number 2, number 3. There's a whole pecking order. How does that go with riders and with Nations Cup jump-offs?
I mean, I can only speak about my experiences, not other teams, but we never really discussed it. I think it's so rare, has been in the past so rare. I think now it will start to be discussed more. But it's also quite common sense who to send in. But like Harry said, I was quite surprised they didn't send Carl Cook in. And I was quite surprised they didn't send Martin in. Yeah. You know, so 2 of the fastest riders with really fast horses. Yeah. But maybe they wanted to test some more inexperienced riders and to see.
Yeah, and Jason Smith had only jumped 1 round because didn't jump the first round.
So maybe that came into consideration.
Sienna Charles, maybe slightly less experienced, but still.
Yeah, I mean, for the British team, that was the obvious choice. Yeah. Probably didn't want. I mean, I think Ben's horse is not the quickest, and still trying to find out the buttons.
It's actually very similar trajectory than.
Yeah, but you see, Ben's horse is a little bit less organised. I think that's the polite way to say it. Less organised, and obviously Sienna's herself less experienced. Yeah. So okay, it was the obvious choice, I think.
Final standings. This is how the Nations Cup in Rotterdam, the Longines League of Nations in Rotterdam, ended with a win for Great Britain, a 2nd place for United States, and Switzerland in 3rd. In the end, we're saying that about Jason Smith, but in the end, he is only he's half a second of the win, so that's actually very, very small margins. Italy and the Netherlands on 12, Ireland on 24, then Brazil. Belgium dropped a lot. And then Germany and France, they did not make the cut. Not final standings, intermediate standings after 3 stages on the Longines League of Nations. 10 teams in Longines League of Nations. The best 8 teams proceed to the Nations Cup final in Barcelona. Who are in trouble? Clearly the Netherlands and Italy. But if you look at it, Belgium and the United States are not safe either. There is 1 leg still to go, and that is the leg in Gassin Saint-Tropez in the middle of September. So it's actually quite a long gap, long break before we go to Saint-Tropez and have that final stage on the Longines League of Nations. Talking about break is coming up. We will be with you in just a minute.
Behind every victory, before every cheer, and in every triumph, there is a story waiting to be told. A story of dedication, of commitment, of trust. It's about all the chapters written away from the spotlight. The storylines that extend far beyond the sport. Where partnerships are forged in silence. And teamwork drives one shared journey. These are the stories that define the sport. And now, a new chapter begins.
Don't really understand competitive that. I like to go to the shows and like to win the big classes. I was more a bit, when I was competing, I won a lot of small things, but never really a big one, you know, so now it's a bit different. He wins the big stuff.
I don't know if competitive dad is the right word for him, because he's not competitive as in you have to win that, or you have to do this, or you have to be better than this other kid or this. It was never I think my father is the least jealous person I've ever met.
of course. That was the first time Joe been there since Dad had won.
What a combination this has been so far. It's confidential in Joseph Stockdale. Look at that horse. Easily over 2 meters.
I remember there, I was looking at the tattoo on my wrist, there's no such word as can't. And I was just thinking about Dad, what he would be saying in that moment. And there's no way that he was telling them to not carry on going. He would have seen what was happening and he would have thought there's that opportunity to go do something pretty special.
Welcome back to the Horse Show after a refreshing break. The question is, should we make our breaks a little bit longer when it is so warm, so you can actually run to the fridge, get a cold drink, and then come back? Do let us know on social media. We'll see if we make our mid-show breaks a little bit longer, so you can catch a Coca-Cola or water. Water is also a very good idea. Second part of Rotterdam is the CHIO Grand Prix at the CHIO. There was also a dressage Grand Prix held there in the Kralingse Bos in Rotterdam. But the Grand Prix on Sunday. Course designer, Belgian course designer Bart Vonk. Nations Cup versus Grand Prix. Opinions, thoughts, feelings maybe even?
I think he did a really good job. I love his courses. He's a very good course builder, experienced. The difference between the Nations Cup and the Grand Prix, for me, I think the Nations Cup was a little bit lighter, a little bit less technical, but that's also normal. You've got 2 big rounds. So they said the first round, you've got to come back, jump the same round. I think he did it well. They got the right amount of clear rounds in the Nations Cup. The Grand Prix was definitely tougher. I think the first half of the course was really intense. They really set the horses, a lot of power jumping in the first half of the course, the combination, the water. And then the second half of the course, a little bit lighter, a little bit more technical. So I think he really got it right.
What do you mean with intensity of the first round, of that first part?
Well, you just had a lot of jumping. You got the wall in the beginning of the course here. We're seeing that more and more. It was also fence number 2 in the Nations Cup. Then you've got the combination came very early, oxa, so a lot of power to jump that, and a 160 vertical coming out. Then you've got the water, also very early in the course. So he's really thrown a lot in the first half of the course, made you work from 1 to, let's say, fence
5. Yeah, that's fence 5, the water, yeah.
Yeah, so it really made you work hard there. And then towards the end of the course, he set it a little bit more fragile, a little bit more technical. So I think that was really clever. Also, with the hot weather, horses getting a little bit more tired at the end of the course. And then you see here, the most interesting part for me was this line here. So you come, it's a 5 strides down here to an oxa. I think fence 9 is the oxa.
Yeah, correct.
And then was here an inside 7, or actually a normal 7, but the 7 was a little bit too nice. So the horse is jumping all that power in the beginning and then getting a little bit open on the 7. A lot of riders opting to do an outside 8 and keep them a little bit more on the hocks. But then you had a big oxa coming out. So the ones that had the outside 8 had really a big stretch to jump this oxa here. It looked easier on the 7 to ride, but a lot more faults then on the vertical coming in, like I said, a bit fragile. Then after the W came around the corner here, a lot of riders opting to jump this a little bit on the angle.
That was surprising. It was a great camera angle. Yep. Nobody jumped it straight.
No,
barely.
But if you jump it straight, you have to remember you come sort of back round and jump again away from home, And that just throws the balance a little bit, and then come back again round. So they're opting, I'll just refresh that because then it's, so they were opting to come around here, jump it a little bit on the inside, and then this distance here was a little bit following on an 8 strides to the triple bar. And the reason they cut the corner is so they didn't get too much pace to the triple bar, because this 4 afterwards was very short. So you needed an inside 8, so you didn't have to push, and then a short 4. I think actually there was a few people did it on 9. The best one I saw was Rodrigo Pessoa.
We've got his rounds. We'll just bring that up for you.
If you see here, he did the 7 coming in there. Really trusted the quality of his horse to come in. Obviously a bigger striding horse. Gets Yeah, perfect on the angle there. You see how he straightened up a little bit, comes outside, waits for the 9, trusts the scope, and then balance for the 4. See, if he had done 8 with his big stride, he would have really had to work too hard to get the 4. And then easy 6 home.
How many did, this is the 9?
Yeah, so he just stays a little bit more outside. I don't know if you can show someone else later that does the inside 8, but there, just trust the scope. That's the quality of this rider. He knows his horse so well that he can trust the 7 up to the vertical, trust the quality, and then make the extra stride to the triple bar and trust the scope.
It's also fantastic to see how Major Tom, in his last stride, that's half a stride actually. That last stride, it really compacts, condenses, comes down, comes together, and then comes.
Puts the hocks under, and that's
fantastic.
That's such a rider.
And by the way, we had him already on the show, Rodrigo, when he won that 5-star Grand Prix with Prince van Eigelo. Then he mentioned that Major Tom was on the comeback, started his comeback in France. Now does this, actually jumped clear and made it into the jump-off. All of a sudden, 2 horses for the championships.
Yeah, I think he can pick which horse he takes, actually, but I'm sure they'll go with the more experienced horse. I would, anyway.
Okay. 2019. You're
going to ask me something about my career again.
2026. It was not where you were. It was where Lisa Nooren was. We've got a clip of Lisa Nooren. This is Lisa Nooren in Amsterdam. This is the last 5-star Grand Prix that she jumped. She didn't jump a single 5-star Grand Prix in, 2019, so in 7 years. And now jumps her first 5-star Grand Prix in Rotterdam on her birthday. And
she was the youngest to win a 5-star Grand Prix.
Youngest ever 5-star Grand Prix winner, at least by my calculation.
Yeah.
I think it was A Coruña 2015 when she won. She was 18 years and 5 months.
She's one of the best, was one of the best up-and-coming riders. And now I think she's had a little bit of a shortage of horses. They sell a few horses, but she's definitely one of the stars of our sport. I love the way she rides.
Style-wise is...
Henk Nooren, her father, one of the most stylish riders that ever rode. And she's taken all his talent and thing. And we will see her back on the top sport, absolutely. All you need, I mean, we've seen it so many times. You need horses to be on the top sport. Once she gets horses on the top sport, she's an incredible rider. And professional, motivated horsewoman, absolutely.
Yeah. Lisa Nooren, here with, I believe it was Scuderia 1918 Grand Prix. Fitting name to make a comeback.
That's the name of the horse?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Cool.
That is...
you wouldn't want to call it that in the stable every day, would you?
Before you get it out of the field, it takes a long time. One more before we go to the jump-off. Shane Sweetnam brought out, again, a new horse. I don't know what it is with Shane Sweetnam, and I don't know how many Grand Prix horses he has in his stable at the moment, but I think it's 6 or 7 that have jumped a 5-star Grand Prix in... 2026. This is Pia Maria, 11-year-old by Casanova de la Pomme.
He's just an extremely clever guy. You know, he knows how to produce horses. He knows how to bring them to the top sport, and obviously he's got good people behind him, and that's also a talent in itself. You know, people that trust you to produce these type of horses and keep giving them to you to ride, then you're doing something right.
There's one consistency. James Cancruz, Koreaan van de Klapscheut, and this horse, all in the same bit. This is the Pessoa bit. This is on, I think on Pia Maria. Hop.
Yeah.
So it's with 2 rings actually at the bottom. It's quite a long shank, relatively long shank. It's the go-to bit apparently for Shane Sweetnam. It was a brilliant article on a French English website about how he swaps bits around on James Cancruz, but apparently. The Pessoa bit is the go-to bit for Shane Sweetnam. How is that for you?
Well, actually, it's my go-to bit. I start most of my horses. I have a really nice Pessoa bit, really nice soft mouthpiece, and I start them all in that. I'm not really a draw rein fan. I like draw reins, but I just can't use them very well. I think that's probably the better way to say it. So I use the...
It's already good that you know that you can't use them very well.
I don't use them very well. And the Pessoa gives a little bit of leverage. you know, so it gives a little bit elevation, which I like when I start the horses. It's just a great bit. It's a simple bit. It's an easy bit to use, and most horses like it. And there's so many variants as well. You know, like he's riding there with 2 rings. That's a longer shank. I've got most of mine are with a single ring at the bottom.
Yeah,
so
one on top, one at the bottom.
One at the top, one big one in the middle, and I just love the bit. Simple horse. A lot of horses like it. I don't normally end there. That's where I start, and I drift off to Pelhams or Snaffles, and then if I get problems, I always go back there again. That's kind of my foundation bit.
Purely from a technical perspective, it's a very interesting conversation. Is there a risk in using a Pessoa bit?
Yeah, I think some horses can not finish behind, you know, because there's a lot of, on some of them, there's a lot of leverage. So you really have to know how to use it, really soften your hand the last strides. If you're a little bit heavy-handed or less feeling, sometimes they can break a little bit behind the jump. But generally, it's quite a simple bit. It's a simple bit to use. That's why it's kind of a lot of people's go-to bit. And Pessoa, again, we spoke about it in previous. Where would he be without Pessoa? Where would I be without Pessoa? Yeah. We're using draw reins.
Yeah. That's a very, very good one. Into the jump off, he didn't go, our friend Shane Sweetnam, with Pia Maria, but we had a long jump off actually. 11 in the end progressed into the second round or the jump off of the Huawei Grand Prix at the CHIO in Rotterdam. Second to go, and it shouldn't be a surprise, but it was surprising how good he and she jumped in the first round. The pair jumped in the first round. In the second round, and how competitive that they dared to be straight away. Nina Mallevaey with Destined to Be. This 10-year-old, Joe, what a future.
Yeah, what a future, but what a rider as well. You know, it's an amazing horse. And you say, how dare they go so fast, or they dared to go so fast. But even when she's going fast, she doesn't really take a lot out of the horse. She's going fast, but it's smooth, you know? I think she ups the pace, but still keeps everything smooth. When you see her rider jump off, even here, the horse, the last stride's in balance. She's never pulling or kicking or out of the horse's rhythm, you know? See that? Beautiful. Oh. And then here, this is an experience, you know? You have to take the risk to the last fence, a little bit deep maybe at that pace, and then just unlucky to hook it off behind.
Yeah.
You know, I think if she did that again, a little bit bigger distance, body a little bit more back, and she would have got it.
Fastest in the jump off, second to go, fastest of all.
Yeah, and smooth round as well.
It's also, I remember the first time when I saw Nina Mallevaey bring out Destined de Beaufort in I think it was the Grand Prix in Saint-Tropez, and there already the horse had a bit of age. Mm-hmm. And she made that horse into the Grand Prix horse and into the record-breaking horse that it is now. Now again, I find it fascinating because on one end, you've got Nina Mallevaey in Aachen in the jump-off, in all the big competitions. Clear, the streak was endless with Destiny, but she produced Destiny, and now she's not just somebody who can produce in the ring. Mm-hmm. She can also bring a horse from a level to a 5-star Grand Prix jump-off. It's a relatively rare trait.
I think that is...
Especially with young people.
Definitely. I mean, you don't start me on that. I could talk for hours. But now I think we've got more and more good riders. We're losing horse people, you know, people that really know horses and can produce horses properly. And Nina is one of those people, you know. She takes her time. You see her going up the levels and then dropping them back down a little bit, sort of Kent Farrington style as well, you know. And horses need that. She's also got the luxury of having great owners and great trainers to work with. But that's so important in a horse's development that you give them the time. And that's also what most riders don't have. You know, once they get a horse that can jump that level, they just want to jump that level.
Or you have an owner who expects you to jump that level.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also difficult.
Yeah, I've been in that situation, and it pushes you to do more sometimes than the horses are capable of at that time. So you have to be lucky to have the right. I mean, she's got Helena Weinberg in it. No, sorry, Helena. Helena Stroman's in a corner, who's one of the best horse people in the world as well, you know. So I'm sure they have those conversations when the horse is ready. And ultimately, the rider feels when the horse is ready, you know, ready to go up, ready to go back down. That's what being a horsewoman, horseman's all about.
Yeah. That was Nina Mallevaey. Let's straight go into the jump off, into the really spicy bit. Ben Meyer versus Luke Dee. Luke Dee, who was last to go, and he's on the right, Ben Meyer is on the left.
So, I mean, I really loved this jump off. It was the experience, Ben Meyer versus Luke Dee. I've not seen too much of him, but straight away starts one less than Ben. I think he did 8, 1 to 2, 7 from 2 to 3. You see that's giving him a massive advantage. But look at Ben. He lands straight away looking where he's going, straight away. You see, look how much closer. Luke's behind the jump. Ben's already on the inside. That's just experience and the smoothness of the way Ben rides. But you see, in the next line, they both move up. I mean, Ben is so quick. He's moving. He does one less. And he keeps everything in balance. You know, he's pushing forward, traveling faster, but keeps everything in balance. Luke, one less there, amazing turn back, did 7, Ben did 8. Gains a bit of, I think Ben stays more on the inside, but again here, look how quick Ben is when he lands. That's really where he's clawing it back all the time. Luke, again in the lead. He has the faster horse, he has more foot speed, but watch this when he lands. This is, if you're a young rider out there, watch what Ben does. Again, so fast when he lands, so fast on the turn. Ben won that jump off just from consistency. You know, he never broke rank. He kept everything neat and tidy. I loved Luke's round. I'm not taking anything away from him. It was gutsy and it was emotional and he did everything he could. But Ben is just so good when he lands and keeping everything neat and tidy.
You can talk about leaving out strides. And despite Ben riding more strides than Luke Dee, he didn't ride a stride too many in terms of distance.
Yeah.
I always calculate strides and then you tell me, yeah, you don't have to count strides. Ben rode more strides, but rode the more efficient round. Probably Luke Dee rode at a higher pace, but he just took a bit of a longer distance where Ben had one landing stride and poof, was gone.
Yeah, but you have to remember Ben is doing that every week, you know. He's one of the best riders at that in the world, you know, riding fast and keeping control. And that comes with experience. I mean, I don't know, how old's Luke?
Luke Dee, I don't know.
Oh, good. I found something that you don't know. That's a first, isn't it? You don't know and it's not on your computer screen. Have you got your phone? Should we Google it?
Instead of guessing, let's ask him. Luke Dee, are you there?
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me.
How old are you? How old are you?
First question, how old are you?
How old am I? I'm 32.
Oh, old enough to know better.
Luke, congratulations. What a great afternoon in Rotterdam. It's a silly question, but you have to be delighted.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely thrilled. It was amazing way to finish the show, and I was in pretty good company. So to pull off coming second, it was amazing. It was the best result I've had so far.
It's been a very close call. The margins are super slim, super tight. Joe and I just picked it apart. Could you talk to us about going there? What was the plan actually going to Rotterdam? You don't have a team that competes on the Longines League of Nations. So with which ambitions, and maybe even with further ambitions, did you go to Rotterdam?
Yeah, it's been a pretty busy month for Gangster. He's done Kessel and won the Grand Prix there, and then he was at La Ball last week as well. So there was only one chance for me to qualify at Rotterdam, and I wanted to make sure that Gangster was right for that class and make sure I got the qualification done. And then luckily it was on a Thursday and he was able to have another 2 days off before the big Grand Prix. So he had a chance to freshen up and luckily, he came in fighting and it was great.
It's an interesting one, Joe. First 2 horses, Point Break and Gangster, didn't jump the Nations Cup. Number 3, Willem Greve, did jump the Nations Cup.
Yeah,
that's an interesting one. It was a very warm weekend in Rotterdam. Luke, I went through the results and I had to refresh my computer or my browser a few times. I thought it was broken. There's only Gangster at the shows. Is that right, or am I seeing something wrong?
Yeah, I've just got Gangster over here. He came over last February for the World Cup final in Basel, and he's kind of been my only horse. But since I've been with Nick and Laura, they've given me a few more opportunities to ride some horses, some younger ones, which has been very nice of them. But yes, certainly looking to expand my team and kind of settle in here for a longer period after the World Equestrian Games. So if I can make that happen, that would be fantastic.
I can feel an opportunity to send some horses to you, Luke.
Yes, absolutely. Please do.
Good. I'll give you a call on Monday after.
Do I have it right or wrong that actually you're kind of in a commute between New Zealand and Holland, because you're based in Holland, right? Are you in a commute going back and forth all the time?
Yeah, my fiance and I are here. We're based here now right up until WEG, but over the past 18 months, I've got a daughter at home too who I go back and forth and see. So yeah, the last 18 months has been a fair bit of travel, but now we're kind of focusing on the WEG and staying for the long haul, and we'll worry about getting home after the World Equestrian Games and having a bit of downtime.
And do New Zealand have a team going to the WEG?
Yes, at this stage we do. I think there's about 4 of us who are available and to be on the team. I mean, obviously, Katie Lowry, she had a 5-star win at Spruce a couple of weeks ago. And there's a couple of others, and another American-based girl and another girl who's just arrived here with a very nice horse. So I think in terms of New Zealand show jumping, we're probably, although there's only 4 of us at the moment, it's probably the strongest team we've had in a long while for us.
And now you even lost your best horse. Oh no, yes. Second best horse. Sorry, second best horse.
Yeah, he's competing for the English team now.
Oh yes. No, that was it was a decision that they made to sell, and I can understand their reasons for selling. But yes, it is a shame not to have that horse on the team because she's phenomenal.
Second best horse after Gangster,
yeah.
Obviously. What's on your schedule, your agenda? You mentioned WEG with all the results that you've put together. I imagine that you're qualified for WEG. The team is coming together. We are, just under 2 months out. What do you want to do with Gangster going there?
Yeah, he's got a few weeks off now, and he'll just have a bit of time to recover, and then we'll reevaluate when possibly looking at going to Chantilly. And then I would love to try and do Dinard before the WEG, but it's obviously pretty tough to get into some of these shows, and but hopefully results like I've had recently help.
Definitely.
Yeah. If Dinard or Chantilly is watching, Luke Dee is somebody that Joe and I really put forward to get into your show. Luke, we tried.
You've definitely put yourself on the radar.
He's incredibly consistent, isn't he? Because you mentioned the Grand Prix win, but to jump clear in a 3-star Grand Prix isn't easy. But if you can do it in a 5-star Grand Prix, it's a little bit easier. But he's fast. He jumps a lot of clears. If he doesn't go clear, you seldom have a high penalty count. It's very often clear or 4. What kind of a horse is he like? How is he in the stable? And what kind of a type of horse is he?
Yeah, we love Gangster. We've had him for 4 years now. We bought him as a 6-year-old from Ken O'Connor. And when I tried him, I thought he was the best horse I'd ever ridden in my life. But he was difficult. He was always very, very hot, very sensitive. And so we knew he was going to take a fair bit of time to mature. We took him back to New Zealand, where he spent probably 2 years there, I guess. And we took our time with him. We were never in a rush with him. We kind of sometimes take a couple of steps forward, maybe 1 step back every now and again. But he's always been a horse with incredible ability. He's so careful. He's extremely brave. and he's a real fighter. I know that every time I go in the ring, he's going to try his absolute guts out for me, and I try my best to do the same for him because he deserves it. But yeah, he's over the past kind of since we've been here since last February, been in this environment, higher competition levels. He's just kind of slotted in really well, and the consistency has come. The consistency has got better and better, and he keeps rising to the occasion all the time.
Cool. Very impressive, very impressive. I just realized that if Joe doesn't send you any horses and you only have 1 or 2 to ride, that means that your Mondays and Tuesdays are light, and that there is always a seat here at the table because you're an hour and a half away, I think, from our studio in Antwerp. So you're very welcome to drop by any time.
I think I've just lost my job.
No, we need a third man. We need a third man to play cards. Luke, thank you very much. Joe, anything else from you?
No, good luck. Good luck. I really enjoyed it. It was a cool round to watch. You know, it was full of emotion.
That's it.
Yeah, it was nice. I enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
No, thank you very much for your time. I enjoyed being on the show.
Super. Thank you very much, Luke, and good luck. We'll speak soon.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you.
That is Luke based in Travers. That means actually that we had neighbors on the show. Didn't realize that.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Then he's a neighbor of Harry Charles.
Yeah, no? They're all a bit in that
area. Yeah, there we go. Let's bring up some results. The results of that Grand Prix out in Rotterdam. Ben Meyer ends a drought that lasted longer than anybody could imagine with Point Break. Big win for him. Big result for Luke Dee. Willem Greve clear and 4 in the Nations Cup. Now clear, double clear even in the Grand Prix. And Martin Fuchs, maybe we did not spend enough time on Forjam Dubaumenil and Martin Fuchs because outstanding already in, in La Baule and now also in Rotterdam. Remarkably, Richard Vogel in 5th, 2 seconds, second and a half of the pace of Ben Meyer. Then Jason Smith again in a jump-off with Picobello van Troosacker. That's 2 jump-offs in the same weekend. That also means he had a rail in the second round of the Nations Cup, and from there on jumped nothing but clears. Katie Dynan, also impressive, both Nations Cup and Grand Prix. And then Mallevaey and Pessoa with Major Tom on 4 penalties. Federico Fernandez with Romeo was clear in the Grand Prix of Rotterdam, and so was Matthijs van Asten with the Casina Dior, and Jose made a comeback in 5-star level. Time penalty for Malin Little, and then the fast fours from the Dutch, Bas Moerings and Michael Greve, and then further down Sweetnam, Charles Bucci, Arne van Heel, Laura Baring-Kjagaard for the stable of Jos Lansing, and Antoine Herman with Jamo VDS. That was Rotterdam last week. This is this week. Only one event is on this week, and that is the Pan American presented by Rolex in Spruce Meadows. I have got great news for you. Should you not have a subscription to Clip My Horse, and sometimes the competitions sit behind the paywall, all of these competitions are free to watch in front of the paywall, so you do not need a subscription to watch the Friends of the Meadows jump-off class. That is on Friday. There is the jump-off class on Saturday, and there is the Grand Prix as well on Sunday. That is Spruce Meadows that we will discuss here on the Horse Show next week. Joe, last week you had 5 horses at the show. This week you had 7. Coming weekend you take 9.
No, coming weekend I'm going away with my wife for a few days. Horses are done for a little bit.
Very, very good plan. Thank you very much for coming, Joe. It was a pleasure to have you as always. Thank you very much for watching. As mentioned, any feedback, any reactions, do not hesitate to send it over to us on our or on this social media handle, so we stay up to date with everything that you like, dislike, that you have seen, or that maybe we did not see. For now, thank you very much for watching, and until next week, bye-bye.